Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's the worst, man.
Because I took it and I'm like,
Oh, dude, that's the worst. Because I know there's been a few times when I've expected something and then it's completely.
oh
different.
my gosh, it was horrible.
That's the worst.
And you don't even know. I was like, I was done with it, and then I took it, and I don't think she gave me the right. So I was like, what? It's like, smell it. She said, oh. No, no.
That's
not it. And
That's
I
not
told
it,
her,
Chief.
That's
Huh?
it.
That's not it, Chief.
No. She's like, no, that's not it. And she's like, I don't know if I should ask and tell her, like, can you give me what I ordered? Or like, just take it and then just order just a regular Jack. But Ken is like, no, man. We came here for a reason. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I came here for a reason. So I can have a drink. And they're like, okay, then. But I'm going to tell her. You ordered the wrong stuff. She smelled it. Dude, it was horrible. I was like, okay. So she went over like, oh. I was like, do you know what you ordered me? It's like, yeah, you ordered Jack. I was like, yeah. It's like, did you order the honey? It's like, no, I did not. And then she goes to the computer and she looks at it and she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I ordered you Jack Daniel's honey, but I'll take this off and I'll give you another.
You got a free shot. You got a free
yeah,
shot.
yeah, I did.
Nothing wrong with a free
Yeah, I
shot.
did.
It makes the honey taste a little better.
Yes, it did. Because Jack after that.
Went down smooth. Huh?
Oh my gosh.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And we've been recording the whole time.
Oh, all right. Oh,
So we're about to-
okay.
Oh,
Hey,
hold
man,
on,
it's
it's,
B-roll. It's B-roll.
It's dip o'clock right now, so I'm
All
not.
right.
Oh,
I gotta change that clock.
it's 5 o'clock.
Daylight savings time, man. All right, well.
I'm going.
Hmm?
Hold on.
Oh, man, that looks nasty. He's a nasty boy. He's a nasty boy. All right.
Well, the beard.
We doing this?
Yeah,
All
we're
right.
going live.
Going live.
All right.
Yes, we're going live. What?
So that story kind of was what brought us in. It was a great introduction to this podcast. It's the very first episode of In Your House. So technically, this was theoretically, this was going to be a kind of branch off from Drunk Weekends that I did with Tony and Mike. But thanks to... Oh, wait, before anything, let me introduce...
No.
Yeah, so here I have Ishmael Avila.
Hi, how you doing?
And here I have Faustino Avila.
Nice to be on the show. First guest. Feels good.
First, the inaugural show we're doing this.
This feels good.
Yes.
This feels normal. Feels intimate.
Yeah, it's not...
It's not as wild as your last podcast. A little more mellow.
Dude, I'm telling you.
From the last podcast?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, well, I
The
wasn't
drunk-
there,
the
so
drunk weekends?
I wouldn't know. So, yeah.
That one, no one really wants to admit it, but it died that night when you didn't want to do Tony's...
Oh, my God.
Tony had everything scripted out. It was going to be like Spielberg. And he... God, I've never seen a guy so heartbroken.
There was reasons as to why I couldn't do it, and I hope he understands why I couldn't do it, and I'm sure he does, but I don't think that's why it's kind of fizzled out. But, I don't want to be your guys' downfall because of that. I hope I wasn't.
No. I think what just happens, we just started getting too drunk.
Yeah.
We started getting too drunk, and we just started
Do
rambling
you want to
too much.
explain to us, or do you want to
No.
let us know what happened? Because I really don't know what happened. Because,
I really can't at this moment, but
that's fine.
and here shortly, soon, hopefully I'll be on and I'll tell you guys as to why I couldn't be on camera.
Oh, that's fine. Okay,
But
that's fine.
yeah, that wasn't my fault. Don't blame me. Don't put that on me.
Okay. I was supposed to be there, but then I don't know what happened, but I think
you might have just elected not to be in at the
yeah,
time.
but yeah, I think that was it. I think that
It
was
was kind of it was kind of rushed together real quick.
That's
It was
what I heard too.
Everyone was on vacation, and I know a lot of people. I guess they were kind of really not wanting to do it. Yeah, it was really put together real quick that one episode, but I'm glad to be.
Yeah, I
back on.
remember that now.
So it's gonna be good though. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I have it. I really kind of miss doing this just because, even though we're not supposed to at work, I'm always listening to to podcasts, and usually I listen to Rogan's a lot. I listen to Fighter and the Kid, so I'm always listening to that, and
Yeah,
it's a good way to stay. Like,
well, when you guys were doing that, that's what I did at work. I listened to your guys' podcast when you guys would do it. I would be at work and I would just put my headphones in and listen to it. So.
yeah, I'm surprised it got to a lot of people too. Like,
It did.
Everardo Sanchez is the men's basketball manager at CSI.
Oh yeah.
He saw me one day. He's like, "Hey, what happened to your guys' podcast?" It's like, "Oh, I moved over here to Twin. It's just kind of hard." It's like, "Oh man, because it was really good. I listen to it all the time."
Yeah.
So it was kind of like.
It's good, 'cause
Everyone would say it.
If you were from Jackpot, there's a lot of like stories from Jackpot that people had never heard or that were kind of just myths.
Yeah.
Not really. No one really knew if they were real or not or true, and
They're all true.
yeah. But they kind of came to light, and I think for a lot of people that was interesting to hear what was going on in their town.
That's crazy. I didn't think that anybody else knew about it. Right?
Yeah, no, it got out. And then I think our highest rated episode was the one when we had Nestor on.
Yeah, that was actually one of your better ones. That one was
Nestor knows
a lot of-
everybody though.
a lot of
Yeah,
information,
sure.
and yeah, that was one of the better ones. I think well put together, great questions, and I think it was really good.
Yeah, and then speaking of that one too, I saw Nestor, Carlos, and Chespy on Halloween at the what's that place? Elevation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw them, and that was fucking Carlos. The only reason he wanted us to keep doing it is because he loved the way Tony would critique his beer.
Oh my god!
So it wasn't bad. Dude.
Yeah,
It was,
and I remember when you guys started doing the podcast, I was like, oh man, it being drunk weekends, I was like, you guys are always gonna have to be drunk now. Like,
That's what I thought too. That's what the whole thing
well, it was. Yeah,
yeah,
we would,
I mean, it's kind of like, oh man, I don't know if I could do that every week.
dude. It was good. There's a couple of funny stories. I know I told Ishmael, and the precursor before when we got the idea was because, and it was Tony's idea to do it too. We all got together and we were just drinking malt liquor, and I got like 2 King Cobras, like a Mickey's, and I think I drank maybe half the other Mickey's.
No man,
Dude, I was drunk. And I stayed over there at Louis' house, and I'm sleeping, and then like in the middle of the night, I had to go to the bathroom. But I'm drunk enough to know that if I get up, I'm gonna fall. Like, that's it. But I'm also drunk enough to think that, well, just go. So I ended up just pissing myself, man. It was. And what sucked was I pissed myself, and then I went back to sleep, and I woke up like 2 hours later, and then I remember I was like, God damn, what the hell did I do? So I get up, dude, I'm putting all the blankets in the washer. Then I'm washing this.
just trying to get rid of the evidence as quick as you can, man.
And then we went to go out. We went to eat in the morning. What?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, jeez, what was going on there?
I don't know. We were kind of having a side conversation.
Oh.
Sorry.
And then we went to go out and eat in the morning, and I looked at Louis, and Louis was like, hey, you all right? And I was like, dude, I just did something really stupid. And then Maggie, the first thing Maggie looks at me is like, you pissed yourself off. I was like, how the hell did you know? I was like, no, I didn't. I just guessed.
Oh my god, dude.
You got you admitted to it.
I'd crack under pressure, dude.
You just
I
you just threw that out there, hoping you'd grab
Dude,
it. You did.
I did. And then the other time was we did our 15th episode, our quinceañera, and
Quinceañera?
yeah, because we did like it was our 15th, and we were like, oh, you know what? We'll just get a bunch of liquor, dude. We'll just drink nothing but liquor. And then that night, Tony got hammered. Like me, Tony, Mike, and I finished I think a Jack Daniels, and Tony really doesn't like whiskey, so he was drinking tequila.
He's not
You
American.
guys finished the bottle? Or like a fifth?
Yeah,
What was
pretty
it?
much.
What's it called? Yeah, fifth?
And that whole night we were just drunk. And then Louis looked at me and was like, you guys all drank the same. Mike is drunk. Tony's like falling on the stairs, and he looks at me like, you're all right, are you drunk? I'm like, dude, I'm wasted. But at least I know I can keep my composure.
I can
a
tell
little
you
bit.
that I'm wasted.
Yeah.
But
the only
I'm
way,
wasted.
The only way you know is if I'm drunk. Well, that's cool. That's good.
So, and I figured, this would be
Yeah,
a
it's
cool thing
fun.
to
I
do.
think it'll go pretty far. I think we have a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. I think.
Yeah, we're going to try to have a different guest Maybe every week, every other week. I already have Lupe on to talk about, his run that he did for Jackpot Basketball.
Yeah, that was awesome. Which we will get into it though.
Yep. So let's, since it's our first episode and everything, we're just going to start.
Yeah.
And
Let's do this.
all right, let's go.
Alrighty. So the first thing, what are we talking about? Looks like
Baseball?
there was some baseball trades.
There were two
Big.
really big ones.
Blockbuster ones. Ishmael, our MLB expert, you want to tell us what happened? You want to be honest with the audience and just tell them how you really feel about baseball?
I'm gonna tell you the truth. Though, like every single time my CBS Sports app comes, because I have it, and when baseball comes on, I just swipe it.
You just-
Oh, dude.
I really don't really care about baseball, but
And there's a lot of people who feel that way. I think that
it's American. It's American sport.
It's a very.
That's what it said.
But I mean, I know that. It's very. A lot of people don't really care for it. I think.
Well, I mean, I think what kind of really saved baseball at one point was when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire had their home run.
yes, that's when I started watching it. That was back then when I did watch it.
But that was when everyone was on all the juice, dude. Everyone was juicing. They give steroids a lot of crap, but steroids pretty much saved baseball. You had guys out there with big ass heads, dude. You can tell they're all roid users. But no, it's the other thing I want to talk about that too. The two big trades that happened so far was Manny Machado going to the Padres, which no one really saw coming because San Diego is a small market team. No one really saw that coming. So we're gonna see how that. I mean, they play in the AL West, and getting past Houston would be kind of tough. But Oakland is on the rise. Seattle's on the rise. Well, Seattle's always been pretty good. So that's going to be all right. The one that I just couldn't believe was Bryce Harper. He signed with the Phillies for like a 10-year, I think it was $330 million.
What?
And in baseball, the contracts are guaranteed, so he's getting that money. I mean, obviously he's got to pay his agent and all that, but he's getting that money. So
Wow. That's pretty incredible because I didn't know that.
Well, I mean,
I didn't think like baseball players had that big of deals, but I guess it's just like any other sport. They get.
I think the NBA and hockey and NBA, NHL, and MLB, the contracts are guaranteed. So what you sign is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And in the
That's good, I
NFL,
guess.
they'll sign you. You can earn up to that, but there's no guarantee.
There's
that
no
you'll get
guarantee.
There's no, and speaking of that, kind of delving off baseball for a little bit, with the NFL, it's kind of stupid because that's probably the one that you take the most contact, the most hits.
That's probably
you
the
should be
reason
paying your players a little bit
more. But that's probably the reason why. It's because you're here this week, but you will be gone next week.
Yeah,
you'll get hurt.
The one thing I didn't really get about Bryce Harper is like, how did the Yankees not go after him? I mean, granted, they already have.
That's really weird. I don't know. I think he might not have been a good fit.
I mean, they got Aaron Judge.
They had Aaron Judge, and they had the John Carlos. I think in the past they've had too much stars. Maybe. I think it's just kind of like get overcrowded as far as chemistry goes, and you have that many kind of personalities on the team. It doesn't. It takes a special manager to get that all wrangled in. I think that.
So you say Joe Torre is probably the best one to keep them all in there.
Probably. I think so. I think that he's. I think he's obviously one of the best managers around. I think that.
He's running LA's. Oh no, he's working for MLB now, right?
I think so. Yeah. He. But no, he kept all those egos in check, and he did really good. I mean, and and also especially in baseball, as far as egos go, I mean, there's a lot of money thrown around, and I don't know. I think that it takes a special person to kind of get everyone in line,
Well, speaking of that, dude, your team won the pennant last season. You're talking about egos.
Oh man,
I don't know.
I tell you what, yeah. I mean, the last time they won was the Boston Red Sox last time they won was in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I've been waiting a long time to be able to call them champions again. because that felt really really good though. And actually, last year I was able to actually go to Fenway Park. I was at Fenway Park for the first time. It was amazing. It was, but I'll tell you one thing about it. When we went, it was just, you want to talk about hot. I don't know what it was. Maybe I was just nervous, and I don't know why I was nervous to be there. I think a lot of it was like, you build it up so much that you almost don't want to, like, not get the full experience. Kind of like you've been thinking about it so much that you're almost like, man, I hope it's not a letdown. So I'm gonna try and enjoy this as much as I can, kind of thing. And maybe it wasn't. And you know what? And it wasn't that hot. I mean, because I think we went in September and.
Well, I was gonna say that.
Yeah,
we were in the city.
It was,
so maybe,
yeah,
but I don't know.
I don't know, but I just remember being just like, because actually I wore a Red Sox jersey and I had just like an undershirt underneath, but it was like a long sleeve, and we walked from the hotel to there because it wasn't that far to walk. It was like a 5-minute walk, and I remember we got like halfway there and I stopped and I looked at my wife and I was like, I gotta take my shirt off. and she was looking around and she's like, well, you're gonna have to do it out here because where are you gonna take your shirt off where no one can see you? And I was just like, well, I'm sure it's not something Bostonians haven't seen before. So I took my shirt off right there in the middle of everyone. And
it's not like you're in the Southie Projects.
Yeah, it was, so I did it and it was fine. But yeah, I remember just thinking like,
South Projects or
the South Project.
I just took your shirt off. You're in Jack by now.
Yeah, right. And but yeah, no, like I said, it was only a 5-minute walk, so it was really cool to walk there. And then everyone was walking there. It was just crowds of people walking to Fenway, and then actually coming across, like turning the corner and actually seeing Fenway, and it was an awesome experience. We had great seats, awesome seats. Actually, Toli, the Bully, Anatolio was there with us. He actually almost caught a foul ball, which was actually really really cool. Had he been standing up, he probably would have caught it, but he was sitting. So, but it was cool. It was really awesome. A lot of fun.
That guy.
But no, it was a lot of fun. So that was cool.
Yeah, dude. Because being in Boston, because there's only a few parks that are really like like corners. Like in the NBA, yeah, you have Madison Square Garden. You have Staples Center,
the Garden in Boston.
The Garden, yeah. But in baseball, there's Yankee Stadium, there's Fenway, there's Wrigley, and there's Dodger Stadium.
Yeah,
really.
But even then, now Yankee Stadium's like
Well, yeah.
But even with Boston now, I know they've renovated it, but for the most part, it's still the same thing. So classic old. But no, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. Everything was extremely expensive. We were planning on going over there and having any kind of drink or food, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I got a hot dog. That's what I wanted, and it was good. It was a lot of fun.
$8 hot dog?
Yeah, dude, it was more than that, I think.
Oh my god!
So I think me and my wife, we got a couple drinks and 2 hot dogs, and I think 1 side of fries. It had to have been $75, maybe. 70.
I can't say much.
Something like that.
Really?
Maybe I'm wrong, but it was something like that.
We went to the Coliseum on Labor Day weekend to go see UNLV play against USC, and I had left my USC shirt at home, and I was like, "Damn it, dude, I can't." I have to wear something.
The USC shirt that you're wearing
that I'm wearing right now.
That you're wearing
I'm wearing right now. So
Represent.
I went to the there was something. It's like part of the bookstore, and the shirt is like $50.
Oh,
I was like,
guys.
like nah. How many times am I gonna say I've been to the Coliseum? So I was like, nah,
Oh, yeah.
shit, I'm gonna get it, dude. So. And then I also got a hot dog there too. It was like $13.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah.
And that's what it kind of drives me crazy because there's so many people who aren't into baseball and they're like, oh, how do we get more people into baseball? How do we do this? And even in anything really, I know the NFL is really bad at it too. It's like these things they're not. It's not really catered towards families. Like you can't take a family of 4. To an
why
NFL,
not? They have
an
hot
NFL
dogs.
game. No, but I'm saying how much it would cost just to take.
Yeah. I know.
That's ridiculous. And I know that there was I had been reading a story about the Raiders in Vegas, and how they should just go ahead and play a season at Sam Boyd there, and just have tickets dirt cheap. You know, like, you know, just make them cheap so you can grow a fan base. You know, younger kids. I mean,
True. They're gonna do it. No
Well,
matter what, like,
you know what? With how good the Knights did,
Yeah.
they probably won't do that
Yeah.
because they saw how quick.
yeah, how quick
But
it was.
that
the
was
past,
kind of
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
but that was kind of an anomaly because they were good in their
Yeah, and
first
on
year.
top of that, they were a new team. It wasn't like a team move there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you know, that was an expansion team that kind of just started. You know, so I think that kind of had a lot to do with it. But, yeah, I mean, I think that would be a good idea because, you know, they say, you know, think about it, you know, if you're a kid and you've never been to like any kind of professional game or any kind of game really, you know, if you take like a 7-year-old and 8-year-old to like a game, even if it's just one game that they go to, like they're fans for life. Like,
Yep.
you know, like
Oh, yeah.
because that's just something that's a memory.
That's a
you know,
first
yeah,
experience, and
exactly.
to see that, and
then,
everything
yeah.
is there. Like,
So I mean, it's just,
Oh
and
my
even if it
God.
is just, you know, Sam Boyd Stadium, which they probably have been to a UNLV game, but you know, being that it's a Raiders and everything, I mean, you might as well. I mean, you know, sell the tickets for $40 a person, and
Well, there's the rumors going around that because I don't think they're playing in Oakland next year, so they're probably going to be playing in. Or did they? Because I know they were floating the idea of playing at Fresno State. They were
oh
gonna
yeah,
playing the
I think
regular
so.
season there.
I'm not
Do that. And then they said something that they would play in Reno, but
I thought that was more of a practice facility. I mean, off season kind of.
was it? Oh, I know.
Spring
I know they built.
training and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I remember hearing that, but I thought it was more spring training that they would be playing at, or they'd be doing it over in Reno. So, but yeah, and we're on the cusp of March Madness.
It's starting.
It's starting?
It is
You're
starting.
serious?
It's March is. I think March and October are probably like the best months for sports.
Yeah.
Because in October, NFL is in full swing. The NBA is about to start. Baseball is in. So baseball is at its height.
the height.
You
Chuck
know,
it.
but then March, you have the NCAA tournaments, spring training starting.
Spring training finally starts. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
You have that, and then what else do you have in March? Besides that, I think that's it.
But yeah, I think March Madness is big enough.
But that's big enough to
Yeah,
carry the whole
I mean,
thing.
that's
Yeah.
carry the whole, like, it's funny because I used to watch college basketball like crazy, but now I just only watch during March.
And I love watching college basketball during the freaking season.
During the regular season.
Yeah, the regular season, I watch it all the time. And when it comes closer and closer and closer to the tournament, I don't wanna. Even last night, when and I told you, like, hey, let's go watch that documentary. And he's like, oh wait, the Duke and North Carolina game was on. I'm like, no, wait, hold on. And then, well, of course, my wife woke up and like, oh, let's go watch that. I'm like, oh, okay, and then we'll watch the documentary. I actually really wanted to watch that Duke North Carolina game.
The Duke North Carolina game, huh?
But since I knew that Zion wasn't going to be playing,
it wasn't worth watching.
It wasn't even worth watching it because
Yeah, that's true.
they said that he's a superstar, and he probably will be. He will.
He's
but
big. He's got that LeBron James built.
That's what everybody's saying.
Really?
Everybody's saying
He's like 6'9", 6'8", and he's
He looks bigger. I mean, I don't think they have. I don't know. I guess people compare him, but I really don't see it. I don't know.
it's
Then
kinda-
again, but I've only seen Zion play like once or twice.
yeah.
Like I said, I only really watch it during March Madness, and that's why my bracket is always just
Oh, dude. Yeah, some people do their brackets just based on the mascot.
mascot,
Mascot,
colors.
team colors.
They
Yeah.
do a bunch of stuff.
I don't know about that. I don't do that, but yeah, I guess
You go by mascot.
I do. Nevada's what's that? The Wolfie?
The Wolf.
The
Wolfie?
The Wolfie, the little one. Junior?
What's it? Wolfie Junior? What's his name? No, it's not Wolfie. It can't be
It was
Wolfie.
Wolf.
I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah, I go off of him.
somebody
I think
Google.
that was pretty cool. I liked him because he won.
I mean, who would win though? Wolfie or the Ohio State guy?
Oh, Wolfie.
Buckeye.
Oh, yeah.
No, Brutus.
Buckeye.
Brutus,
Yeah.
Buckeye.
Brutus
Man,
Buckeye?
Whatever, man.
What is Buckeye?
It's a nut, I think.
Yeah,
it's a nut, right?
It's a nut?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was
Busting
the
nuts
big
all
one.
over the place. No, it's a.
I don't even. I'm still trying to figure
I guess
out what it
yeah,
is.
he might be a nut. I think he's a nut. Some sort of nut.
Yeah, because I think it's a Buckeyes. It's what it is. It's
Oh,
I have no idea.
I honestly thought it was a gun.
well, have you seen? Well, when they put the decals on the football stickers, they look like weed plants. But I guess that's what when the Buckeyes sprouts. That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Oh.
Did not know that.
I don't watch the Buckeyes very often.
Me neither.
I don't really
I'm
know.
sorry.
No. How do you get an Ohio State grad off your porch?
Throw him a book?
No, you just pay for the pizza.
Oh. Come on.
Dean.
No, it's cool, dude. My grandpa went to Michigan, so it's kind of like in my blood there. I don't have to like Ohio State. And plus, they had that. Oh, what's
That was
his
a good
name?
one.
What's his name? Oh, God, Urban Meyer, that low life piece of garbage, dude. Every time his team is gonna suck, and he knows, he's sick. When Tim Tebow left, oh, it's hard. I can't coach anymore. And then he goes to Ohio State and he builds it up, and then he knows that they're not going to be doing well anymore. No, I'm sick. No, I'm not going to do it anymore.
What was his sickness?
That time was headaches.
Oh, he was getting headaches?
Yeah.
Oh. That's
So-
weird.
Urban
Urban
Or
Meyer.
I can't stand him and Nick Saban, dude.
So he stepped away. I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Well, I can't stand Nick Saban because he wins, but he's doing something right.
Nick Saban couldn't win in the pros though.
He could-
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
why I was like, well, you've been
That's-
doing really good
Yeah.
your whole college career. Why
would
won't
you
you go
leave?
to the NFL
Yeah,
like everybody else does?
You know, that's very true. But I think a lot of it, I think had he not gone to the NFL prior, I think that he would definitely have left already. I think he definitely would have left. But it's like I already tried. Yeah, granted, it probably wasn't my best effort, but
You think he did? Oh, did he?
yeah.
Well, he went to the Dolphins,
he was
right?
with the Dolphins.
Oh, was
Yeah, did he leave mid-season, or he got fired mid-season?
I think he got the guy who left mid-season was at Bobby Petrino.
Oh,
when he
okay,
was with the
that's
Falcons.
all right.
But granted, that was at the same time as the Mike Vick thing too, with the
Oh,
dog
yeah.
fighting. So
No,
But-
but yeah, I think that had he not.
there was one story though that I guess there was a player who had collapsed, like an offensive lineman who's like heat stroke, like couldn't breathe or anything, and then he just looked at him, just walked over him. It's like, man,
Saban?
yeah. That
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Yeah, Saban is. Somebody tells me he's very similar to like Belichick, or it's just like a no nonsense, no fun kind of thing. You know when I think of like Belichick and I think of I think of Saban. I don't know if you guys have seen Varsity Blues.
Oh
but
my
it's
God.
like when they had just won, right, and they beat the crap out of a team, and John Voight's character, I can't remember his first name in the movie, but I know his last name is Kilner, and they had just won, and so the players are feeling a little, they're happy and they're celebrating whatever, and there was like some guys in the background like flexing their muscles. And John Voight comes over here and he starts hitting the guy. He's like, "You think we give a fuck about your muscles? You're out there, can't even make a goddamn tackle." So something tells me that Saban and Belichick are kind of like they take the fun out of everything.
Yeah.
Where it's just like,
I mean, you can't have coaches like Pete Carroll, dude.
Nah,
Pete Carroll could go into South Central, dude. He could probably go in the heart of like Crip or Blood and would be welcomed.
oh,
And
yeah.
they'll throw a barbecue to have hood ass guys out there, dude.
He'd be
So
out
what you're
there.
trying to tell me is I can catch a ball?
Yeah, he'd be out
And I
there
can run it?
throwing some slang out there too, dude. He'd be.
Yeah.
Because it was Pete Carroll and Rex Ryan who were like players coaches. Who
Yeah,
were, like
the players like
yeah.
playing for him. It
But, I
was
mean, I
good
guess-
fun. But I mean,
you can't argue with what fucking Belichick has done though.
no,
So,
you can't.
No,
but I
I guess
mean,
there's-
also, but you just hear about all these players who have left, and they're just like hated it. It was just miserable there. But that's just how much Super Bowls mean to people.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, what's the name? The tight end. What's the name?
Oh, Gronkowski.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, he's been there for a long time.
Yeah, see,
and
and
he's
it's
like, you
just-
could have left a long time ago, but he's still there. He
And
wants
yeah,
to be
and like
there.
he's yeah.
but I think it's just because he's under Brady's.
Nah.
Brady's
yeah,
wing.
yeah,
Like, you know,
that's
like
true. Yeah.
Brady would probably come up to him and be like, "Hey, man, coach is lit again." God, USC is so badass.
Oh man, yeah, USC is a shit. That's an awesome story. But yeah, no, I think that I don't know. Doesn't Gronkowski kind of look the kind of guy that would just beer bong Anytime he had an opportunity.
Yeah. He went to U of A. So, well, no, Arizona State's more the party school, but he looks like a frat bro.
Yeah, like
he looks like maybe 10 years from now he might get a Me Too.
A what?
A Me Too, dude.
a Me
What
Too
is that?
a Me Too allegation. No,
no, okay, no.
You get it. But no, yeah, no, like he would definitely shotgun a beer like when he's like 65 years old or something.
Yeah,
like for real. Like he's gonna still be doing it for a long time.
Yeah, that's probably true, but
You know, like Friday Night Lights, kind of like Billingsley, party at Billingsley. There's gonna be a party at Brady's.
party what?
Friday Night Lights, dude.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights, I know.
Party at Billingsley's. No, that's cool. But sports though, Jackpot State Run.
That has that.
Man, you want to talk about how great that felt. You know, especially knowing the head coach Lupe as well as I do, and growing up with him and playing with him, and them getting as far as they did.
I love you, Lupe.
That felt really good. You know, it felt really good. I know that you know, everyone who had played on, you know, Roger Wallach's team, and you know, they had aspirations to go to state, and man, to actually have the team gone to state, and it was awesome. And as deep as they went to, and the fashion that they won, and it was just awesome. And it was really good for Jackpot and the town and the school. And man, I'm really proud of those guys. I'm proud of Lupe. It was great.
It's his second year though, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's the second year.
So he's pretty close. I might have like his winning percentage must be ridiculous,
Right? Yeah.
Because I think he's only lost maybe what I don't know, but I want to say maybe give or take 5 games in 2 seasons.
I maybe more, maybe a little more. I'm not too sure, but I know that this state run was awesome. Though I think that they did really good. I watched the game. Actually, I streamed it online, and we had them. I think we were the better team. I think we definitely could have won. We just kind of, you know, fell apart mentally, I guess, toward the end there. I'm not really too sure what happened, but man, that was a great team. It was a really good team, and I think we definitely could have won that game. I'm not really too sure as to how many players are returning though. That I'm really kind of. It's weird because you see a lot of these players play now, and you know, prior you kind of had an idea who they were, but now it's just all, you know. As older you get, you don't know a lot of these kids playing, and so I honestly don't know how many starters he's returning or not, but if he's returning quite a bit, I imagine that they're going to be just as dominant, and that was
at least that's what we're hoping.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, geez, imagine him. Oh, because you guys went through probably. Well, obviously you guys are the best defensive team out there, and then for Lupe to go to a place like Eureka and Carlin and Oahe and win there and win in like big fashion.
That always felt good because I know that, you know, always playing in Oahe especially, that was like anytime you could win in Oahe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, growing up, I remember just getting a league win away was just that was just tough to do. I mean, it was tough. I mean, you can you know, before league came around, you can blow through some teams, but once league started, it was like, man, like,
it just turned into 11.
Yeah, I mean, it was like playoffs already started.
I just remember going to Oahe, and then after our game, we'd sit to the girls' varsity, and then like when guys' varsity, would kind of like the whole gym would shake.
Oh yeah,
the whole gym would be packed, and it would just shake.
I was trying to explain that to some people.
It's like you don't, you can feel the vibrations sitting down. It's like, damn, man, that is.
And I trying to explain that to some, you know, some people, like when we would watch watch like any kind of like professional game, you know, and you're watching it and how loud the crowd is, and you just like, I remember playing in Oahe and then in Eureka or even Carlin, you know, and the floor shaking and like vibrating, even when you're standing on it and you're playing on it, and it's like, can you imagine what these, like, you know, professional things, like what it feels like then, like like how intense these you know games, or even college for that matter, how bigger these places are, and it's just
what did they say that
crazy.
Was one of the loudest in the NFL where you really can't hear anything.
I know Seattle's one of them.
Seattle's really loud.
Kansas City I hear is really good too, but yeah, I mean, I just like but going anytime you can go away, and I think in any sport really, and you go and you get a win away is especially against like a division rival. It's big. It's
You know
really
what though? It's not really sportsmanlike to think, but when to beat those teams by like double digits, but like high double digits, like 20, 25 points at their place after all the years they would come and do that to us.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That feels good. That's got to feel really good.
That's got to be a really man. Yeah. Speaking of Lupe, I actually texted him yesterday and I told him, hey man, I'm starting this podcast. I wanted to get you on there and just talk about like, your state run, how it differs from being a player to a coach.
Oh yeah,
because
I imagine that's. I could never coach. There's no way I could ever coach. Absolutely no way.
You still have that player mentality.
I have the player mentality. I remember, and I think I remember realizing that because I had always thought about coaching, and I remember the exact moment when it hit me when I was like, I can't be a coach. And it was when my sister was a senior, and I was helping her out quite a bit to prepare for basketball season, and there was a couple times when I was showing her how to, just do a few things, different kinds of creating space and all that kind of stuff. And I remember thinking, I mean, I never, was never blowing up on her or anything like that, but I remember how frustrating I would get, where it was kind of like, why can't you do that? Like, that kind of thing. and that's when I realized, like, there's absolutely no way that I could be a coach. I don't have the patience for it.
You start getting that Bob Knight mentality.
Yeah, probably, and like, there's no way that I can do it. I mean, so I have, and once I realized that, I mean, the amount of respect I have for coaches now, for anyone I think of that's coaching that I played with or that I grew up watching and they're coaches now, it's like, man, I have so much respect for them because it takes patience. It really does, and especially if you've had success in the sport prior, and to have the patience that you do. And you really got to have, that kind of wanting to help people, wanting to get better and everything like that. And I have an enormous respect for people who can do that. I mean, I kind of stopped watching basketball and everything like that, but, I understand why people do it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I was on the opposite end of that spectrum. Like my senior year, we had my junior year we tied for the worst record in school history, and then my senior year we were like, you know what? Let's beat that record. And we had the worst record. I think we went 4-20. Oh man, and
that's gotta be a brutal season,
dude. It was. You go into playing football in Jackpot, you kind of expect, okay, we're gonna go in. We're probably going to lose, but, fuck it, we're just going to go play. But basketball, because Jackpot's such a basketball town, that you just feel like you feel like you're letting the whole town down, you're letting everyone down.
And that's what I'm curious to find out about. Like, I remember growing up, like, that was the thing, right? Like
basketball.
Yeah, basketball was a thing, and I'm curious as to.
I was going to say, like, where did you because basketball was the thing.
No. That's what I'm saying. That when we played football, Jack was never a football town, so we played in there going in and like, all right, for a lot of people, it was just to stay in shape.
For basketball, yeah.
In fact, our old football coach, I'm not going to drop any names, took us in one day. He's like, "Why don't you guys give me the respect you give Wally? You know how good we can be if you give me that respect and you give me that heart and dedication." And then you look around, all the people who are good at basketball, just kind of like, yeah. And I'm just there, just smiling, fuck it, dude.
I just want to hit somebody, man.
So
I'm just here trying to concuss someone.
Then the whole that year when we played, I remember we playing against Wells, and it was already the second quarter. We were already down by, we knew we were going to lose. So come the third quarter, we're all playing, and I can understand why our coach would give the younger guys time to get experience and all that. But one by one, he started sitting every senior down, then he pointed to one senior. Well, no, one senior done. So then there's only 3 seniors left. He pointed to the other senior. Done. He pointed to the other senior. Done. So at the end, it was just me. And then he puts in one senior who really never played. He puts him in for like 30 seconds. Get out. And then it's me, Kyle, Jorge, Jorge Martinez, and I think I forget who else. And then he looks at me. He's like, Dean. I was like, all right, Bubba, what's going on? I'm thinking like I'm the only senior left who wants me to take kind of leadership or something. And he looks at me. He's like, Dean. And I turn around. I was like, he points right at me. Points at a seat at the bench. And flat out says that out loud. I was like, you're next. And I'm like, and you look at all the Wells players just looking at me. It's like, well, shit, I guess so. 30 seconds later, dude, I'm on the bench just sitting down.
Oh my god!
But to give the guy credit, I think our coach at that time still had that player mentality.
Yeah,
because it was his first year, really.
Definitely.
So, and of course, you don't want to lose every single game.
Yeah,
on there, so.
And like I said, yeah. So that's where the patience thing comes in. You know, if you've ever had any kind of success, you know, and when you're competitive like that, like to lose, you know, 3 games in a row, 4 games in a row, man, that's got to just wear on you, you know. So you got to have the patience to do it. And it's something that I couldn't do. And I think that's a lot of reasons why I stopped. Kind of like, you know, I remember, I actually do remember when we would have open gyms, and that was a big thing because open gyms. I mean, that was like, you know, growing up, you got to play against players who are higher caliber, you know, like, you know,
anybody,
like, yeah,
everybody.
you played everybody and anybody, you know, has-beens, washouts, you know, and but even then you would play, you know, you would go in 7th grade is when you could play open gym, right? 7th grade,
You go up.
7th grade, you'd be playing against a senior.
That's true.
You know, it's just you got that kind of experience, which was awesome. I mean, that helped me a lot. And you know, I think I had to been like, I want to say it was like 20. You know, when I was still going to open gyms, it was like I was like 20 years old, and I went to open gym, and I remember it. I remember it exactly. And I used to be very good at like defense. Like I prided myself in defense. I loved playing defense. And I remember it. I was guarding Foey, Lupus brother. And he was just that much quicker than me, that much faster than me. And my mind wanted to do it, but my body couldn't. And I'm so competitive in the way that I was like, I can't do that, dude. Like I can't, like it just wouldn't. I couldn't do it. And he crossed me over one time, and my ankles almost broke. But I didn't fall though, so like, you know, it wasn't like one of those reaction videos where it's like, oh, you know, boy, everyone started screaming. But and that's when I realized I was like, you know, I think I'm just too competitive to where I was like, you know, I can't do it. So I had to just stop. So I just stopped playing completely. I can't. My body can't keep up, you know, and I just couldn't do it, you know, and. But yeah, I remember all these things. I remember, you know, realizing that I couldn't do it anymore, and I just couldn't do it. I'm way too competitive. But then also what scares me is just injury. You know, like I'm just,
you're gonna have it no matter what.
Yeah, and then that's what happens, especially when you get older. Like, like
all how old are you now?
I'll be 33 next month or this month,
next week.
next week. But like, you know, I've had a couple of friends that I know that go to like intramural sports.
Yes.
You know, and they just hurt themselves, like bad.
There's a significant person that I know, that does that, and I think he doesn't want to say he blew out his knee, but he
probably blew out his knee.
He hurt his knee, but yeah, he's a good guy, dude. He's the same way, like he was thinking the same thing. Yeah, but you know but.
Yeah, dude.
It's just that when I told him, it's like, man, dude, we're getting old. We're older. We're getting older.
You're more. I guess you're more prone to injury, and you're not doing it as often. And then, like I said, it's like your mind wants to do it, and you try and do things that you used to do when you were like 19 or 18, 17, and that's where you get in trouble, you know. And that's another big reason why I don't like to play competitively anymore, because I'm way too competitive, and I know I'll get hurt. I just know it. I know it's going to happen. And the last thing I need to do is call into work and be like, hey, I ruptured my Achilles. I can't go into work today. They're going to look at me like, what the hell are you doing rupturing your Achilles? So, yeah.
Well, because your team statistically was the best defensive team Jaguar had. You guys made it.
I think. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Because those games were always...
very
low scoring. They're like 25 to 30.
Yeah, I remember one game. I think it was Carlin that was like 23, 25.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, very low scoring. And you guys made it to the regional.
we just made regionals. We never got past the first round ever, but yeah.
But you made it to state though, right? First one you guys made it to state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We made a thing.
That was what your junior year? Junior year. Your junior year. Yeah. Yeah. That was one of the better teams. That was a really good team.
Till this day, I still don't understand how the regional things, but I think I'm kind of getting to it or understanding it.
Oh, the
but
regionals, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different because you guys didn't have regionals. You guys went straight. Yeah, you
never had regionals.
Yeah, you had.
And I was trying to explain to this, to somebody else, but yeah, we never had regionals, and but we didn't. We made it to state without going to.
Yeah, you just mentioned.
We actually played every single team.
Yeah, because you guys played because your guys' division was different.
Well,
You guys play Gerlach?
we played everybody. We
Colville
played
too,
Gerlach,
right?
Colville,
Yeah.
played
Smith Valley.
Smith Valley. We played,
So you guys
played
had everyone. in your
So you
league
guys
back
just
then.
played every single
every
1A
single
team
team,
in the state.
everyone in the state.
And you guys
That's
ended up
why-
losing to Eureka, right? Eureka? Is that who you guys lost to in state?
Yeah,
It was Eureka, huh?
Eureka.
Yeah. That sucks.
I'm telling you, that's
I think it was.
I'm pretty sure it was Eureka. I think it was
can't
because I know that
remember.
they had I remember with Eureka, their biggest thing at the time with you guys was their press.
Oh
Yeah, their full court press was like well known throughout the state. It was
Horrible.
like, yeah, it was like
Yeah,
suffocating, dude.
Yeah, the Eureka's probably out of all the schools I've ever played. I've gotten along with the guys from Milwaukee and like Carlin, but Eureka was always the word. I remember my junior year we
It's
played them.
like they were robots. They were like,
No, they're fucking
They-
dicks, dude. They're fucking roughneck dicks. That's what they were.
well, yeah,
you
you can do that way.
You know, and that's I don't know. It's kind of. I was thinking about this the other day as far as because the thing that kind of made me start thinking about it was Nevada and the Utah State game when they rushed the court and
Right.
and like something.
And you know what that reminded me of?
Well,
When I was watching that Nevada Utah game, Oahe
yeah,
cherry picking.
yeah.
Oh man, I don't know about that. But cherry picking, I was like,
yeah,
dude.
cherry picking was the worst.
Yeah,
But,
but anyway, yeah.
But I remember just thinking like, when you have that kind of fan interaction that close to people, like things can go really bad real quick.
Really quick, yeah.
And especially in college. But I was thinking like in basketball, for instance, like I remember going to like Carlin specifically, and they would just be racial slurs, like none other. Like that's something that you just kind of expected.
I think I went there once to Carlin, but never ever.
Yeah.
Because Carlin was
I don't
two.
think I've ever
Carlin
played
was
Carlin
Yeah,
was-
because
because they came down. I think.
Yeah.
Luis's senior year.
Yeah.
is when
I
they came
don't
down.
think I've ever
And
been
Wells. I
down
think
there.
Wells too
Wells
came
came
down.
down,
Yeah,
yeah.
Wells came down too. But just there was so much racial slurs, and I just like. I remember thinking like, it just didn't bother me as a kid. But now I think about it as I'm older, and I'm like, man, how did they let that go? As long
That's
as they
where you're
did,
playing,
you
dude.
know what I mean?
And there's a
That's
reason
how it was.
we always got the sportsmanship award though. It's because no one in the
Yeah.
oh yeah,
but it's true. Like I think about it now, and I'm like, man, had that happened when I was maybe a little older, maybe I was like 20 or something like that, and that had happened to me then. Not even then, maybe older, but it's just like it drives me nuts.
Dude,
it drives me
it's-
crazy.
I never really experienced it with Carlin. More Eureka, and I remember my
Yeah,
junior
a
year,
few times
yeah.
in Eureka, I remember hearing it a few times.
My junior year, we went to play them in football. And we were their homecoming, and they had tied little Jaguar like plush toys.
Yeah.
but like with nooses.
Oh,
First
my
of all,
God, really?
First of all, come on, man, you're crossing some racial stereotypes when you're putting someone on a noose.
Oh
You know?
man, that is
Exactly.
horrible.
Yeah.
Like-
That never happened.
yeah,
dude,
and like who knows how to tie a noose?
Racist roughnecks from Eureka, dude.
That's
they're
just even
just-
crazier.
That is
They had them
horrible.
all, in the hallway and everything. And then
No way.
Yeah, we went to go play them, and
Like,
then
you had to walk through it?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
Yeah.
god!
My goodness.
We had to walk through it and all that, and then, granted, we knew we were going to lose, and then there was this one play where Hoffman came. Shit, I just dropped the name. Our coach came up with some crazy plays. One was like, "This isn't going to work," and it was a direct snap to me.
Yeah.
And so they do it, and Garland walks off and says it's direct snap to me. I gave me like 2 yards. And one of the guys was like, "Yeah, he wasn't going to work, you spick." And I was like,
my god!
And I was like, "Wait a minute here." And then the second time on defense, their quarterback was, I forget his name, was fucking super fucking racist, dude. Like every other word was beaner and wetback.
Really?
And then he put his cleat on my face mask. And what he didn't know was that it got caught on there. So I was like, fuck this. So I just twisted my head and it just kind of like that. And then I got up and for some reason, like personally, I don't like getting in fights. I'm not very, but like in football, I'm just, you got pads on. It's not really going to hurt. And so he just kept staring at me. He was like, all right, dude, I'm going to get my shot. I'm just going to wait. And then it was on a draw. And I went like 55 yards. I just ran, dude. I was just stumbling, dude. Slow as shit. But what was funny is like he jumped on my back. And I was like, all right, man, we're going for a ride. So he got on my back, and I'm in the end zone, and I literally twist myself, and I put my elbow like right underneath where your chin strap, your throat, and just boom. So I scored the touchdown and knocked his fucking windpipe, dude. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
You just people elbowed his ass,
dude.
You gave the people
After that, you fist bump for that,
dude. But that was because in basketball, I was never. I was never good, so
the ones we always heard. I remember the one I always heard in Carlin was Taco Eater. Taco Eater, and I'm like,
you guys really went through all this stuff?
Taco Eater, or I was like, oh, someone give him a burrito. It's like, what? It's like, or the one of my favorite ones is like, oh, it smells like beans in here.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
you guys went through that?
Yeah,
No way.
But it's so weird because it never. When I was, I guess I didn't really understand the magnitude of it. I guess, and how it could really affect some people. And I was just there to play basketball. I didn't care. But I think about it now, and I was like, man, that was bad, man. That's not good.
Well, it transcends though, because there's a game I think in Ohio or somewhere where a poorer school went to this rich white school, and the student section all came out with MAGA hats, and they were all trying to make America great again.
Oh wow!
So it gets to that point where
it's I don't know. I guess I never really. I don't know. I really don't try not to feed into that kind of stuff. But
so I wonder how if Luba dealt with any of that, but he probably didn't care because he was walking out beating that team by 30.
It doesn't matter.
Like, whatever.
So I don't know. Maybe they don't go through it now, but I remember it vividly. I mean, it was crazy. That was a lot of fun though. It was cool.
I'm really glad that he that Lupa was going to be able to do it, because now we can get like the first hand like from him and all that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's good. Hopefully have him on here soon, and we'll
get on.
We'll chat him up.
Yeah. Well, in other sports news that just came out last night, actually, was Antonio Brown getting traded
to
the Raiders, dude. And what's funny is a couple days before they were going to trade him to the Bills, and I oh man, dude, I can guarantee he was looking at it and be like, nah,
that ain't gonna happen.
Nah, Chief.
There's no way. Yeah, no, I still don't understand that trade. I don't. Like I was telling you guys earlier, like I don't understand how you trade Amari Cooper to bring in Antonio Brown. Like I just really don't. It makes no sense to me at all. Like at all. Like unless you can make a quarterback change. That's the only thing I can think of. Because he's a locker room killer. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, he's not as bad as T.O.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, no one's as bad as T.O. But I'm saying it just doesn't make any sense to me with Amari Cooper going there. I mean, with Amari Cooper leaving and then bringing in Antonio Brown, it's like that makes no sense to me at all. I don't get it. I don't agree with it. But don't get me wrong, Antonio Brown is an awesome talent, but
he had something against Ben Roethlisberger too. Like he wasn't really close with him, and
I remember hearing that. Yeah, it was kind of fractured.
He said something that I think, I'm not sure, but like Ben Roethlisberger said they're all my kids or something like that. And like,
oh really?
Yeah, like how you gonna tell that to a grown ass man?
Did he son him, man? He straight up sunned him. Yo, son, easy there, man.
Yeah, that's like at a certain point. Like I was talking about seeing the story yesterday. Our boss at work was very we joke around with each other, and I know we call each other, oh, that's your boy.
Yeah.
That's your boy. So there's this one guy that works there, and let's just say he's a low hanging fruit.
Yeah,
I guess that's not bad. It's not
what? A low hanging fruit.
He's a backwards mechanic.
Leave him alone. Okay.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Okay, let's
So, dude, that's your boy. And then he's like, why you always call him my boy? He's not my boy. I'm like, yeah, dude, he's your boy, dude. This guy here is your boy. That guy's your boy. He's like, no, man. You're my boy. Bacino's my boy. He's my boy. You're all my boys. So if it was anyone else, he'd joke around. But I literally think he probably thinks that.
He views us as his children.
Dude, so I felt like I had to leave because I was like, dude, I'm going to crack up. I'm going to get fired. But to call another man, like another grown man, you guys are on the same level. He's not your boss. You guys are on the same level. You answer to the same person.
Yeah.
To call him your boy, it's like,
like,
come on, or your kid.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, man.
Better get out of here, man. Get out of here, man.
But he probably looked at that trade and was like, they're going to be in Vegas next year. There's no state income tax in Nevada. They gave him pretty big.
Was it $50
contract.
million?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if he stays in there,
I can see it.
So
I mean, it's kind of high profile.
and now you're going to see how he is because the Steelers are not a bad team.
No.
They're a pretty good team. Yeah, you have a decent quarterback in Roethlisberger. So if he goes to the Raiders and just makes it about him, then all along that's what he was.
Yeah.
But if he tries and he puts in and all that, then
he's like I said, he's probably one of the better receivers. I mean,
do you need that diva mentality to be a receiver?
I think you kind of do, dude.
You don't think you do?
No, but
they all have it.
They all have it. It's just,
Why is
they
it, though?
don't need it, but they just they have to put it out there because they know they're the best.
I remember someone
They're the greatest.
hearing somewhere that like all NBA players are wide receivers. Dude. They're all divas.
It's just I don't know what it is. It's just in your genes. I don't know. It's just like.
Well, I'm guessing when you're playing high school, you're the number one.
I mean,
player on that
are
team.
they the number 2 highest paid on teams? Is that what it is?
I think behind quarterbacks.
Behind quarterbacks, or is it defensive ends now?
Well, defense,
Or
I don't know.
Like a defensive lineman, I should say, just specifically.
Well, there's so much restrictions now in playing defense
Yeah.
in the NFL that you probably wouldn't want to pay them too much. I mean, you still pay them a lot.
That's the only reason I can think of them being divas.
the money.
But their careers are so much. Look at running backs. Their average is a 3-year span, 3 or 4 years career, and they don't get paid as much, and they're constantly taking a beating.
Yeah,
and you're running and you're picking up blitzes.
Yeah, and that's why I 100% agree with Le'Veon Bell. I'm glad he didn't come back. I'm glad he actually stuck to his guns. I was like, no, I'm not going to play for you guys until you pay me, because they take a lot of punishment, a lot.
Well, I mean, it happened with Earl Thomas. He was holding out, and then he came back in, and he got in. He broke his leg.
Yeah, broke his leg.
Yeah, and he flipped off the coaching staff. And all. I mean, it's probably not the coaching staff's fault, but management and ownership.
He knew it was going to happen. I mean, you got to look out for your own, especially when you're a professional, man. You got to get your money while you can get it. And that's why I never understood why. And that's what kind of drove me nuts was with the Le'Veon Bell thing, was that he had so many players. Normally that was like a rule in the NFL or in any kind of professional sports where it's you don't mess with someone's money, And if he's trying to get more money, you let him get his money. Man. You don't talk about him the way they were talking about him and just hating on him. It's dude, especially as a running back, man, you got to get it when you can get it, man. 100%.
Yeah, because you take one bad hit, you're done. Yeah.
You're done. And especially how they look at it as far as you can get a decent running back in the 5th round, and that's why they feel kind of reserved as far as to paying them as much as they want, because they think, oh well, you're just dime a dozen, we could get another one like you right away. So you're not going to find a Le'Veon Bell right now.
No,
no. So. And that was the thing, with Kareem Hunt as well. He got released from the Chiefs, but it's dude, someone's gonna pick him up.
They did.
The
Browns.
The Browns did. Yeah, it's dude, he's way too much of a talent for someone else to pick him up.
So that just goes to show you, dude. In the NFL, you can do all this shit.
You do all you want, man.
You can Robert Kraft. You want to get a little rubby tuggy, dude. You can do all that. you can do all that, and the NFL will look the other way. But Colin Kaepernick takes a knee, and suddenly, nah, man, you ain't playing.
Not in my country.
Wasn't here, rich boy.
Oh, get out of here with that, man. We don't want to get into that yet. Come on now. Let's go. Let's go.
Now we're going to kind of delve into a little the dark arts in a way. What's been going on, dude?
No.
Not to make any not to make any light, because I know Ishmael's really kind of sensitive on one of these.
On one of these,
but
100%.
And not to make light of it, of course, it's a very serious situation what's going on. But the two have really kind of been sticking out so far. One of them was R. Kelly.
Have you seen that documentary?
The Surviving R. Kelly?
Yeah.
I saw like 2 episodes.
I haven't seen it. I've just been kind of just going off of what people have been reporting.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it though. Is it pretty bad?
They the one about the whole P-tape thing did get pretty bad, but the reason he didn't get convicted is because he paid off the family.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, he like secretly paid off, and they agreed not to testify against him, and they just couldn't find any. But yeah, girls are like 16, 15.
Really?
And then for some reason, he would obviously a very good singer, but he is dumb as shit. He does not. They did the interview. I was watching the episode. The guy who interviewed him, he's like a head writer for Rolling Stone magazine, and they were talking to him, and they asked him a question. It's like, "Are you attracted to teenage girls?" And anyone who's in that position, who has a good PR system, would be like, if they ask you, you say no. You say, obviously, you don't. You deny. And he answers it in the most ridiculous ways, like, define teenage. It's like, man, come on, dude. Come on, bro.
Yeah, and I thought I had read something saying that it was essentially a cult. Is that what he was brainwashing these girls then, essentially, huh?
He was taking them in. They were living in this house, and they were just pretty much sex slaves, like human trafficking. He'd find someone he liked, and
like were other people coming in?
No, I think he was going out and.
No, but I'm saying there's like other people coming in and hooking up with these girls.
No, I think it was just him.
It was just specifically him.
Shit! I think it was just he was acting a fool. So he was out there, and then he gave this interview recently.
Oh man,
King. That has to be.
Who are you talking about?
R. Kelly.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That interview with what's her name? Is it Gail?
Gail
King.
Yeah.
Gail King.
Oh. Yeah. I told him.
Oh my goodness.
I seen that thing on my Snapchat. I think it was I don't know what it was, but I told him about to my boss, and I told him, man, that dude, it was horrible. It was horrible. Like, oh really? Like, yeah, it was really horrible. But I don't know. I've never really seen it.
Dude, he broke down like crying, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like,
The one thing that instantly popped in my head when I saw him like cry and get up and like throw a fit, it's like when a little kid gets in trouble. And he's like, "Fine, then I'm leaving. I'm moving. Fine, fuck this.
I'm running away. No one loves me. I'm getting out of here."
It was so bad. And obviously, there probably isn't a shadow of a doubt that he is doing all that shit. So, all that sick shit.
Come on.
So
yeah. I mean, the radio and I think it was iTunes. It might have been iTunes that aren't streaming his music anymore at all.
And then like artists who have collab, like
Lady
Gaga said that
they were all getting off of it and everything like that. You know, that's I don't know.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it must be some kind of mentally there's obviously something wrong.
Yeah.
But for them to think that you have so much money that you can do whatever you want,
essentially what you want. Yeah,
it's like no, that doesn't work that way, Chief.
No, not at all. And that's why I don't know. The other documentary we're going to talk about is that Leaving Neverland.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
That one, I don't know.
That was a hard watch.
That's a very hard watch. If anyone hasn't watched it yet, just be prepared. It's gonna
be very prepared.
It gets very graphic. A lot of details. And I've been thinking about it because you had sent me a text, Dean, about how, man, this is way too graphic.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, it kind of has to be. because if you're going to accuse someone of it, like, you might as well. I mean, you know, if you're going to accuse someone of something that heinous and that, like, just downright awful, we have to all understand what you're exactly accusing them of, right? Because someone hears molestation, a lot of times they don't really think what it could be. You know what I mean? They think of it kind of like, oh, just touching.
Yeah,
just an appropriate touching kind of thing. And you think, all right, well, is it? You know, is it over the pants? Is it under? Like,
that's the thing. Like, that you don't. I think that's a lot of things that why you don't want to talk about it, because you don't know the exact facts.
Yeah, and
I think that's what I mean. The main reason why.
Yeah.
Why.
But when they said that they came out for money, the one guy's multi-million-dollar choreographer, so he's got money. It's not.
I knew.
Yeah.
The other guy, I mean, he seems pretty well off too. I mean, he was in commercials and all that when he was a kid.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know. I mean, I was never a fan of Michael Jackson. There's a few songs. I mean, I obviously you, Ishmael, I have a little more.
What?
You.
I'm okay. I like his music. His music was.
I mean, there's no denying that he was.
Yeah.
He was really, really good.
He was
at what
talented.
He did. Yeah.
He's very talented.
But yeah,
it was. Yeah, it's. I mean, I guess we gotta ask the question: do you believe it?
I do. After watching that, I just.
Do you believe it, Ishmael?
Do
you believe that really happened?
No, I think I do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I always had a feeling that he probably did. You know.
You know, back then I thought that it was the money, but yeah, you know.
Yeah.
It's
them
telling the same story, like. Oh, okay. No.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's like two
different
people.
That's where it's kind of like you have to believe it. Yeah.
Okay.
They're essentially telling the same story, like,
and they're around different time periods
too. So it's kind of like
there's no way.
Yeah, clearly it happened, but I don't know. It's kind of just. It always just. I don't know. Like I was asking you guys earlier, like, you know, how culpable are their parents? You know, like. But then again, it's like, I don't think, like, a lot of people, like, especially the newer generation, I don't think they understand, like, they hear that. I don't think they understand how big of a star Michael Jackson really was. Like, you can say it, and you can, but like, no, like, there's no one that even compares to how big he really was. Like,
he was.
And they said that when they first met him, that like they instantly trusted him.
Yeah,
so
because he was such a big star. So it's kind of like,
Jackson.
he was Michael Jackson. There'll never be another pop star that big. I mean, they'll like it literally like shut down traffic, like riots in the mall, anywhere that he went, it was like shut down. So it's like you look at the parents and you're like, how could you be that stupid? You know,
right?
But it's kind of like, how do you not like trust someone like that who's like, I don't know, and yeah, it is naive on their part. It's
and that's a conversation that I had, and with my wife, and she told me like, well, I don't know. I think you guys said something like abducted or something.
Oh, abducted in plain sight.
Abducted in plain sight. I was like, well, back then, she was telling me like, well, back then. You trusted people.
Yeah.
You know, you
didn't really see them. That wasn't really crossing your mind ever.
Yeah, it never crossed your mind, but.
Oh, and then back then, any kind of child molestation, it was kind of swept under the rug.
A lot of it was.
Just,
Yeah. But this was.
Well, I think it honestly changed a lot of. Well, there's still going to be there's still people behind R. Kelly. The lady that when he got arrested
bailed him out, right?
Bailed him out, $100,000, her life savings, bailed him out just because she believes that he's innocent. You know, so there's going to be people who, no matter what, will always believe.
Yeah, I really don't know anything about the R. Kelly thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know much.
What it is, what happened, or what. All I know.
You may trapped in your closet, man.
He's giving us hints all along, dude.
And that was it.
He's giving us hints.
But I seen the conversation or the documentary with the Michael Jackson. I'm like, I don't know.
That was just it was a very, very hard watch.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And then to know how he systematically would get, and then as soon as they got older,
he
They're
just
gonna
brushed
push
him
him away,
off.
so that was kind
so
of-
it's I don't know, and I think a lot of people are like, oh well, they're kind of trying to not. I guess they're kind of trying to deflect the blame and be like, well, he was sick, something wrong with him like that. But I don't think so, man. I think he acted very methodically. I think he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, how he picked him. And that's another thing I was thinking, too. I was watching this. It was like, it couldn't have just been him seeking out these kids. Like, he had to have kind of someone who was procuring them, kind of like going out there and looking. Like, I honestly, there's no way.
But when you're that big, like he kept telling the kids, you really can't trust anyone.
Yeah.
He probably.
Well, that's what. But I'm not saying that someone else knew that he was doing what he was doing. But I'm saying I think he kind of like let other people know, like, hey, I want to meet this specific kind of boy. Go out and look for these kind of boys. Like I in my head, I can't believe that it was just him acting alone. Like I just can't. There's no way that he had enough, I guess, time to do that. Granted, yeah, he picked a few on his own, but I can't help but to think that there were other people,
like a bodyguard or
or personal assistant or something like
assistant.
that. There's no way that I believe that it was
man.
just him.
I don't know.
Like, and that's why that's what I would like to know. Is like, there's no way that it could have just been him. Like, there had to have been other people who knew about, well, not really necessarily knew about it, but that were helping him in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a very, I don't know. But yeah, 100% he did it.
Yeah, oh yeah. There's this little video on Instagram this comedian Kyle Dunnigan did, where he does a space swap thing, where he talks about Michael Jackson, and he comes out and he says, "Oh, you know what? We might be able to play that."
We'll look it up.
So he does a space swap with Michael Jackson. He's talking about like. The allegations of this new documentary that they're false and they're ignorant. And he's talking to Michael Jackson voice and he's like, I'm just a grown man sleeping with kids. And like right when he says that, he breaks out laughing. He's like, oh, of course I fucked them kids.
Yeah, he did. It's
the funniest part, and it's true because you see it in the documentary. He's like, that was a good pedophile too. I've been in amusement park and at candy stores.
Yeah,
and then his. I tell the little kids, oh, you like candy? Like, yeah, we like candy. Oh, yeah, you like candy? Yeah. Well, tell your mom to get the fuck out of here today. No way making light of it, but it just goes to show you how someone, even at that genius level, most of the time there's going to be something wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude,
he was, yeah.
You already knew that he was messed up since he was young.
But you don't want to use that as an excuse, though.
No, you don't. That's the thing.
Because then there's going to be dude next door.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
hey,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah,
Anybody.
I don't think. Yeah, I think that's like kind of. Yeah, it's a slippery slope to say that that's a sickness, and we have to. Because I guess as soon as you say that it's a sickness, you have to defend him. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that's. I'm nowhere near qualified to do. So
I don't either, but I'm just saying it's like, well, look at him.
Yeah, but I 100% believe that he is a calculated monster. I don't think that a lot of the kids that he did that to got their justice, even when he died.
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah, because you gotta live with that. Like
Yeah,
you can tell,
yeah.
obviously they were going through a lot. Even talking about it,
Yeah,
they're reliving it, and it's just
it was pretty bad. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe some of them will get some justice in this documentary, but
will you still listen to his music?
I will listen to his music until I die.
I mean, that guitar riff on Dirty Diana. So.
I mean, I'm just saying
that guitar riff is banging.
It's different. The two.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess only when he's with the Jackson 5. That's the only time.
It wasn't that good though.
I mean, I don't know. It's hard. I guess. I don't know. I probably won't. To be honest, I couldn't justify it myself. I just couldn't.
And then did they?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess paying for it and then just it being on the radio is the same thing. You pay for something rather than just being on the radio.
Well, you don't want to pay for it. You don't
don't pay for it. But I mean, I guess if
the
Thriller's on, am I going to change the channel?
That's one of the biggest arguments in like 2005 when he went through his second case. Like,
yep,
he didn't do this. He made Thriller.
Exactly.
That's the thing, like, he made Thriller.
I don't know. Yeah, probably. I probably wouldn't, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
it's really. I mean, doesn't O.J. Simpson still have his bust at Canton, in the NFL Hall of Fame, or did they remove it?
I think he removed it. Well, they took his Heisman away. I don't know why they wouldn't take his Hall of Fame thing away.
Yeah, because that guy did it.
100%.
That guy did it. O.J. Simpson.
What?
O.J. Simpson killed.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, he did.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That was 100% true.
Yeah.
He did that.
So it's
this racist thing.
no. Well, and some of the rappers are trying to bring in this question that I do a lot with race. It's like it's nothing to do with race.
I don't think it has
It's
anything
nothing
to
to
do
do with race. It's
No,
just
I'm saying like
No, I don't think. Yeah, but Michael
I know
Jackson
you're
did
judging.
was.
no, dude. I'm not, dude.
I think, what Michael Jackson did was just...
yeah, you're judging.
Terrible
I
thing.
know that you like trying to see what I would do.
Oh, but the Michael. No, dude. Just because I know you
That's
you
why
enjoyed Michael Jackson, dude. I mean, you can't. I don't want to say that you should separate his music from his personal life because they both kind of coincide.
I know.
But you can't deny that at one point he was the biggest thing since the Beatles.
Yeah.
You really can't. There's no way you can
The
deny
greatest.
that.
Yeah. He was
That's
really
what I
good.
think.
But
So I mean, if that's a documentary you guys want to go see, just be prepared. It is very, very graphic.
It's a hard watch.
And it's very, and especially seeing that you guys have kids.
Yeah,
That's-
that's the biggest thing too. I think that's why I was kind of like, oh man, and that's I think why it was so hard. There was a lot of things that you hear about when these kids are like 7, 8 years old, where it's just like,
It's horrible.
oh, it's a terrible thing. It's very
Yeah, it's-
terrible. Well, and speaking of hard watches, and like that's like, obviously right now one of the biggest, horror movies out there is It. And a lot of them haven't. A lot of fans of the movie haven't really read the book.
Mhm.
And there are, if you haven't read the book and you do read the book, there are some hard chapters in that to read as well. Like as far as that kind of stuff, where it's a hard read. There's some chapters. I mean, it's my favorite book of all time. Like I read it at least twice a year.
That makes you
And-
a creep.
No, it doesn't. But I'm saying like those are like you'll come across these chapters where it's just really hard to read, and just like this documentary, it's really hard to watch. But I think you kind of have to watch it, and just because I don't know. I guess you're kind of doing them justice in the fact that
because you're
getting-
hearing
their
their story and it's
and
getting out.
So, but yeah,
God, we really got dark, dude.
we got really dark.
What?
We got too dark. Someone turned the lights off in this fucking thing. I don't know what happened.
Oh yeah, that was. Well, there's other documentaries too, but they're not as dark as that. I know they're doing. Well, they're ducked in plain sight, but that one, the parents. I mean, granted, like Ishmael says, in that time you trusted everyone, but there's got to be a line you have to draw on.
What's acceptable?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't me. I mean, like Caitlin told me too. Was like, dude, how, why would you do that? But
Well, I mean, yeah.
back then it was, I don't know.
Different.
It was way.
Different.
Yeah, I mean, because dude, like I was talking about seeing it
Okay,
yesterday.
it's like, hey, dude,
And-
hey, come. You want to hang out with them? You guys are good friends. I was like, you guys are brothers or whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, but see, I think we, in a way, we were kind of good that we weren't. I mean, obviously, we were never exposed to kind of that growing up in Jackpot.
Well,
We were allowed to walk. I mean, not too late, but we were,
dude,
Yeah, it was a smaller town.
I remember being 8 years old and like being out until like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock sometimes. That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yes.
You think about it now, it's
Yes,
like,
it was.
really?
Dude, 8 o'clock, 8 years old.
yeah. It's just kind of
it was something that we never really. But speaking of that though, like, I would like to have Lupe Gonzalez. I would like to be here and ask him about it if he remembered it. But I mean, I remember being there. I'm not going to say his name, but I remember there being a specific individual in Jackpot he was way older than us. I mean, he was an adult, obviously, but he was kind of just like he would invite kids over to eat pizza, all the time, and he would give him money too. I remember him on more than one occasions offering us like $5. Like, hey, you want $5 to go play at the arcade? Yeah, sure. Hey, if you guys want to come over to my house all the time and eat pizza, you can. Man, as a kid, you're like, this guy's fucking awesome, right? But and I think about it now, and I'm like, man, like, I'm like, I guess I look at it now. I was like, well, clearly something was going on there, but I'm lucky that every time that he ever approached me, I was with a group of people. I was always with like 2 or 3 more of my friends. So I was so when he was like, "Oh, you want to come have some pizza?" Sure, let's go have some pizza. We went in his house, ate his pizza, and left. But, you know, and so it kind of like scared me to the point, like, well, how many kids did he get that were just by themselves? And how different was it for them? And what could have happened, what may not have happened? And I think about that a lot, and it kind of just like it scares the shit out of me to think, because like, man, like there was possibly someone who was out to do that in Jackpot at one time. I think about it, and it just kind of just freaks me out.
You know, I mean, we never obviously. I'm speaking for myself, but I'm pretty sure I can speak for you guys. We've never been touched. I mean, I think the closest thing to that was an elementary teacher would slap us on the ass every once in a while. but then that should stop quick. I know how that should stop really quick. But you never look at it that way. You were just like, oh, all right.
It was more of a sports thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
and then plus, we were always...
Get your butt in gear.
We were always grabbing on each other, dude. So, I mean, obviously, maybe when you were a senior, I know when Louis' class was, that's when it just kind of just blossomed into like
what? And then pretty soon it blossomed, and then it was just like a rose garden. It got out of control, man. It was everywhere.
I did the other day at work. You came over trying to, and my natural instinct was to cover myself. And I hit my knee. Right? I hit my knee on a pallet jack, dude.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, like I was explaining that to my brother-in-law the other day about like nut checking was a big thing.
Oh my god.
And like it blew his mind. He was like, "No, if anyone hit me in the nuts, I'm gonna beat your ass." And I was like,
"That was your brother-in-law?"
Yeah, and I was like, "Huh? I guess it never really occurred to me."
Dude, we were ducks, dude.
Yeah.
I tell like my 7th grade year, the one thing I was afraid of the most was going into yeoman's class because that's where the senior lockers were at, and I knew I was gonna run into Eric, and I was like, "There's 2 things that are gonna happen. I'm gonna get a wedgie." Or I'm going to get a nut check. And I was like, God damn, dude, I got to do it.
I'm running out of underwear.
The fucked up thing is my cousin, dude. He's
your cousin?
Eric, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
I was thinking about this the other day. Do you remember how good school lunches were back in the day, man?
Oh, I always went home.
You guys went home?
Oh, man. Dang.
School lunches were the bomb, man. Because the only reason you remind me of that is because I, having to pay for my son's lunch every once in a while and having to pay for it. It was just like, man, like I can't imagine having like 4 or 5 kids, or even like for our mom growing up, like if she had to pay full price, it's impossible. There's no way. There's no way you can afford that.
Like I think over there was like $1, no, $2. I think if you paid full price,
maybe I think it was $2. Yeah,
and then you get that note at attendance and then circle, and like you can't eat until that's paid.
Yeah, that doesn't work. You don't do that anymore.
No, dude, that happened to me one time. Dude, like, no, you can't. This is paid. You can't eat. I'm like, well, shit. So then I just started going home.
But see, that's what's wrong. That's messed up, man.
That is messed up.
Any kid, no kid should ever be denied a meal at school.
No,
never. And that's the thing too now that. What's pretty cool with a lot of schools here in Idaho is that they actually offer snacks. So if your kid is hungry during class and lunch had already passed, they actually offer snacks now. So, which is really cool because I remember a lot of times being at school and just being like elementary and being hungry. So, I mean, it's a good thing that they're offering that now. It's really cool. It's awesome. So. What do you think? Wrapping this up?
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good one.
It? Oh, dude, we're going to go.
You keep on going? You keep on going?
Yeah. Let's talk about your boy Trump.
There, you don't want to.
Do you want to build the wall, dude?
Do I want to build the wall?
Yeah.
Yes. Do we really want to get into this?
No, it's just. Oh.
Well, listen here. I voted for Trump. What of it? Me and my kin did. We all did. Y'all need to get used to it. And if you didn't vote for Trump, you ain't no kin of mine. You understand?
Yes. I want to build a wall.
Dude, we were. It's funny, dude, because we were talking at work the other day. We saw this article that New Yorkers post birth abortions or something like that. Dude.
Oh my goodness! I just told my wife about this the other day.
Yeah.
Dang it!
And the dude told the dude's a great guy. I really like him. He showed it to us. He was like, "Yeah, no, it's right here on Facebook." And I was like, "Well, first of all, dude, anything on Facebook, whether it be on your side that you agree with or on the other side that you don't agree, is not true."
Well, what did he say? He said literally they were letting women have abortions the day before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said. He literally came up and he was like, "You see what they passed in New York?" And we're like, "Well, what did they pass in New York? It's an abortion law." And I was like, "What abortion law?" Like that they're allowing women to literally abort a child the day before they're due. I was like, no.
No, yeah, that's a law. That's what they said.
No, but it's not true.
No, it was just a few things passed to protect Roe versus Wade, because under the Trump administration, now with the Supreme Court being
Well, see, that's I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
being favored heavily to the right, they're afraid that they're going to overturn Roe versus Wade,
Yeah.
which is a woman's right, to have an abortion. And
Big staple of women, right?
yeah, that's so. Then I was like, wait a minute. So I looked up. I saw an article in the New York Times, because if you want news, newspapers are probably the only way that are going to tell you.
Washington?
It's unbiased. It's
Yeah. No, the New York Times.
But
And all it was is a few.
Is this all being recorded?
Yeah, this is being recorded. Yeah.
we're still going. You wanted to keep going. We're going there. Trump
Yeah,
supporter.
you're right here, dude. Where's your MAGA hat at, dude?
It's just there's one person that I want to know about.
Who?
Don't want to listen to it, but go.
Oh, I don't know.
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right.
Well, so all it is New York passed a few laws to limit what the federal government, if they try to overturn Roe versus Wade, it's just a buffer to protect them.
Yeah.
Because even if that ever were to happen, states still have the right to take that to court. They still have a right to, the states' rights, which is really big here in Iowa, because the guys we work with, they're gung ho for government playing hardly any role in daily life, which I agree to a certain extent. I was pretty much raised by my grandma, and she had welfare. So we had the food stamp booklet, the ones that you about the green and yellow and purple money. So I'm a child of welfare. So I agree that the government, when you need it, should help you. That's what it's there for. It's that safety. Yeah. But to tell you to wear a helmet when you're riding a motorcycle, no, that's your business. If you want to go and die, get your head smashed in because you're dumb enough not to wear it, that's your choice. Smoking in bars, that's, you're there drinking beer already. What's the difference? You're going to smoke. They shouldn't be telling you, there should be certain, I could understand in restaurants because you're bringing kids in, you're eating, but there's no kids at bars,
Keep your hands off my gun, boy.
Yeah, that's another thing too, dude. It's like, I respect the Second Amendment. Yeah, I do. You have a right to own a gun too. Should they limit what kind? I mean, if you put,
there should be a limit.
No. Should they limit if you want to buy an AR-15
and I want a cigarette? That's my right.
That's your right. But there should be stricter ways so idiots don't get it. And it's always going to be hard. Though. Yeah. That's always going to be hard. Though.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think one of the things they can do is close that loophole in gun shows, where you can just go to a gun show and lay down $500 and walk out with the.
Yeah, basically,
there's nothing wrong with that.
As far as I understand, is a lot of things. As far as
I
that
want to
goes,
lay down $500 just to go buy a freaking AR-15.
You should.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I know,
right?
No, but you shouldn't get it without passing a background check.
At least.
Oh, I got my background.
But even then, I don't even know if the background. I think there should be some sort of mental kind of test or something.
I mean,
Maybe,
look,
maybe,
everyone has to go through 2 tests to get a driver's license,
Yeah.
and they get recorded. You have your driver's license number.
No pendejo.
Well, yeah, well, I shouldn't be the one talking about cars.
But no, yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah,
If you have to go through tests to get a car, because why? Because you're endangering other people's lives. You possibly kill other people.
You have have a weapon.
Exactly.
You're driving a weapon.
So the same thing should constitute for a gun, like 100%. Like and anyone who looks at it be like, well, no, it's not the same thing. How is it not the same thing? Like it is the same thing.
It is. It's the same thing.
So I think you should be. I think you should have to take certain. I don't know. I don't know, courses or tests to get a gun. But yeah, I think
I would like to get a gun.
and that's another. I mean, if it's like, if you think that taking a test or whatever is gonna deter you from getting a gun, then you shouldn't have a gun.
Yeah. If you're walking in with second thoughts, that they're gonna
like for real, like if
I told that to.
But it's like if that's your biggest concern, like if you look at that and you think like, man, that's gonna make it that much harder for me to get a gun. If you do what you're supposed to do, there's no problem. You're gonna get your gun.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
What's I'm saying? We watched this guy. I told him, "Hey, look, this guy's like walking with his firearm on the side."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, yeah." He went all the way to a barn. It's not a Barnes and Noble. It was like I don't know what it was, but he came back. I'm like, took 3 hours. Like, yeah, he walked all the way down, and he had his arm down here. I'm like, why would he do that? Why would anybody do that?
Maybe
To
a
show
lot of
somebody?
it too. Though it's probably that old West mentality that in the 1800s when people were out here, you could kill a man and not get in trouble for it. But you had a gun, people knew not to mess with you.
No.
People are out here like Wyatt Earp, dude. Down, dude.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, yeah, Wyatt Earp style. No, maybe.
Billy the Kid over there. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out with your balloon hands.
Yeah, so it's tough, and it depends also on if a new administration takes hold in 2020, how things are going to go. But it's one of those the Constitution. I'm a very firm believer in it, but I also believe that when they wrote it in 1776, there's things that are not going to apply to 2020.
Yeah.
So obviously the Second Amendment was written because at that time we rebelled against England, and everyone had a musket. And
That's the way it was.
Yeah, and it was your duty when government became tyrannical, you did something about it.
Because it happened to them.
Yeah. So you're pretty much. So I'm all for the Second Amendment, but there should be stricter ways on how to purchase a gun.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
And like you said, perfect. If you have nothing to fear about going and taking a test to get a gun, then go get a gun.
Exactly.
It's going to be hard black market to kind of stop guns, but either way.
Well, on that note, guys, Dean voted for Trump, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. All right, well, this was a good episode. First episode. Yes. This is good. Feel good about it.
Oh, yeah.
We're shaking hands over here.
The first episode of... the first episode of In Your House.
In Your House.
In Your House.
Hope to... What is this, a weekly thing?
I'm going to try to do weekly? Bi-weekly, get people, get guests on. I know I talked to Lupe. I know Ishmael wants to do it again with his guest.
Yeah, so...
I know I want to get Carlos, Nestor, and Chesby on it because they've been really wanting to, but... and obviously do return guests and all that. Try to... current events, culture, pop culture, politics. Try to delve into a little bit of everything.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, boy.
All right.
So in that case, thank you for listening to this. It will be uploaded on YouTube as soon as I can figure this shit out on how to do it.
Yeah, boy.
So thank you for listening, and that's a wrap.